I do these videos because I care about our community and my people. I mean, I care about all people, but I care about our community a little bit more because we have a special circumstance, not to our creation, but in some ways, we maintain a certain view or mindset among ourselves. When I come across other black men and other black women who are willing to attack another black person or throw another black man or black woman under the bus, it bothers the hell out of me. It rubs me the wrong way because I know that we're better than what we show and what we are doing. Now, there are going to be black men and black women and children who just don't get it, who just don't care. And I've stated in other videos, we got to let those people go. But here it is on YouTube. There's been a group of people, male and female, young or old, straight or gay, who are black, who like to keep dissension going. Now, I have no problem with people putting videos up saying what they say. I may not agree with it. I may find it repugnant, but I would never go out my way to make them take their videos down or false flag them or distort the words they say. I let people come to their own conclusions. But I've noticed the last 6-7 months there's been a constant attack on at certain black men and black women on YouTube. A lot of it is due because some of our people are color struck. Some of our people are self-hating, and self-hating can mean a lot. It doesn't necessarily mean color. It can be that they just hate the fact that they was born, or hate the fact that they live in the community they live in, and they figure if I'm miserable, you got to be miserable. I mean, here in the Chicagoland area, once it gets warm, and by Monday morning, I'm dreading the number of black people who shot other black people. What we've done is we've let the slave master and their descendants get so deep into our head. We hate anything about it. We hate our skin. We hate our facial features. We just hate each other. But what's so troubling is that some of our brothers and sisters out here on YouTube have gone to the extreme. We start emulating other people, putting up false channels, start distorting people's comments, lying, just saying things because we know, like anybody else, whether it be within the community, outside the community, people don't take time out to listen or do the research. You've often heard me say, know your history, control your dollar. See, if you know your history, you know patterns, you know words, you know scenarios that people use against you and how they get over on you. Control your dollar. If you control your dollar, you can control your destiny. You can buy what you want. You can go where you want. You don't have to worry about somebody always over you telling you what you need to be doing. But some of our people have been conditioned at a young age and it's been ingrained in their head. That's why I say to those brothers, if you lay down with a woman and it's a possibility you can be a father, you want to be in your son or daughter life. You don't want them growing up without a male influence or out there being able to tell them the realities of the world, especially as a black man. You don't want your son going out there trying to feel his way around the world and pick up these negative habits, or when he comes in, he's going to come to you at some point, ex-daddy, why did this person say this to me? Now, don't get me wrong, a mom could probably talk to her son just as well, but it's a different tone that's set with a man. And the same thing with these ladies. Don't get involved with men that does questionable things and then you know it, then turn around and then when they screw you over and you know it's coming and you get mad and get bitter and then you badmouth all men. And that's what's going on here on YouTube. You got a group of black women and a group of black men who badmouth each other. And those of us don't engage in that rhetoric, they get mad. They want us to get in that rhetoric. They want to have this back and forth. But I've noticed something out here on YouTube, and let me say this again, and I tread during this subject lightly, but you shouldn't have to be afraid to speak honest and truthfully to people or to your own. But there's a certain segment, not all, but a segment of black women out here who've gotten a lot of black men channels taken down. Whether because of miscommunication or just spite, or they just don't like the fact that a black man is out here calling people out on their BS. There's a segment of black men out here who've made some mean-spirited videos And a lot of brothers who wanted to comment on certain things have been lumped in that group, and I have too. Now, my very first video was defending black women. But those who don't follow videos or watch all the videos, or who are quick to believe another spiteful sister, they believe that I'm attacking black women, which I haven't. If a black man makes a comment about some, they think you're talking about all. And some of our sisters have adopted the ways of white men and white women. Like when I talk about racism, I'm not accusing all whites of being racist, but all they know that they hear me criticizing a white man or white woman, so they figure you're talking about me too. Now, some people can accuse the black community of doing that too, but it's a little bit different. You have an overwhelming majority of whites in this country would rather see us in bondage or with nothing, but are willing to accept somebody's sexuality as being the same thing as the experiences that you and I go through. And that's not it. It's not the same thing. You can accept that, but you hate me when I've done nothing to you. We're not ramming our views down your throat. But the fact is that we have the ability to open our mouth and talk about a subject with intelligence that scares people. But there's a group of black men and black women don't want you doing it because they're afraid you're going to mess them up. And I've observed this when I was in school, when I was working, when I was in the military, that if a brother like myself, let me rephrase that. If you get 5 or 6 other black men and we're talking about a subject and we're in agreement, you got a black man or black child, they get scared because they know they're going to come across a white person. They may have heard a conversation or bits and pieces of conversation, and they're going to come to you and ask you. And I'll give you an example. When I was working, this white woman came and said, Harvey, is it true that black men just use black women? I'm like, where you get that from? Well, I heard this black woman say this, and I said, did you hear a black man say that? Well, no. I said, well, don't assume. I said, why don't you bring that to me? That's like me asking you, is all white women whores or white women racist? You wouldn't like me if I did that. But a sister that was standing next to me got mad, like, why would you say that to her? I said, say what? I'm just being honest. Don't ask me a dumbass question. You're gonna get a smart answer. So that sister eventually flipped on me. But guess what? She got her comeuppance. And then she came back to me, Harvey, you just can't believe what such and such did to me. I said, yeah, I can believe it. But I said, do me a favor. Don't get me involved in this. Why? We supposed to think that? I said, wait a minute. When they was attacking me or asking me dumb questions, you got mad at me because I put them in their place. But now that you having your nigger moment, you want me to stand with you. That's hypocrisy, sister. See, a lot of people engage in that type of mindset. As long as you getting fucked over, everybody cool. You know, that same people said, better him than me. This is going on out in our communities. We got people mad at each other, don't even know why they mad. This is why I say know your history and control your dollar. I did a video back last December. I think I did some follow-ups in January and maybe February, and I was saying he versus she versus he, and I was giving the history of the issues that we have in our community, male and female. Now, there are some sisters out there who knew exactly what I was talking about. There were brothers that knew exactly what I was talking about, but there were some sisters and some brothers, but a large majority of sisters that said I was blaming a black woman, and that wasn't what I was doing. But because you guys have heard things out of context or just like to attack people within your own group, you start spreading rumors and lies. Here it is. I've done videos where I haven't even mentioned black women. I've done videos where I've critiqued white women and called white women out for their arrogance and stuff. You get a black woman. See, I told you he was with a white woman. I've said I dated white women years ago. That was a long time ago. It was about 15, 16 years ago. I was messing around with white women because I was raised in that everybody human, treat everybody according to the situation that you're in. But I realized that you just can't do that because at some point you're going to be called a nigger or something's going to be said and done. You're going to be accused of something. And those sisters, instead of taking the whole context of the story, they took it that he just been with a white woman. He's no good. He's a traitor. But I'm like, if y'all never watched all the videos, you never listened to my point of view, understand why I had a change in tune. But no, They use that to justify their love of white men. I mean, there are channels where you have black men and black women who praise white folk. That's their right. But don't do it at the expense of your own people. You got brothers and sisters out here put videos up of us fighting each other or calling each other the most derogatory names or putting our kids up to do questionable things. And those videos are hitting millions of hits. But when those of us say, hey, let's not do that, we get attacked. Or we get false flag, or we get clone channels made and people go say things in our name. You're not hurting me. What you're doing is keep further dividing our people, and everybody else is getting a chuckle. You should be surprised how many white folk I done came across and say, and other ethnicities say, man, why do black people turn on each other like that? They say, make it so bad. Y'all a lot closer in opinion than that. It's just that one of y'all want to be hurt more than the other, or if y'all have been hurt by one and you've taken that anger out on the next person. In all my videos, all the negative comments, all the mock videos I have, I've never turned around and lumped an entire group of people into a group. There are black women out here who have said some pretty disgusting things about me and other black men, and some of us haven't retaliated. And I'm not going to retaliate. But see, that's the problem. When we take the high ground, that pisses people off more than anything. But see, sometimes we got to look at ourselves and ask, why are we doing these things? But also, I got to be honest with you. Some of the brothers made some videos out here that, you know, they're biting. Don't get me wrong. They're rough. But a lot of it, they're on point. It's a certain segment of black women in our community that do this type of stuff. There's a certain segment of black men in our community that do this stuff. And unfortunately, we've let those people become the face and voice of our community. So what I'm asking you out here, YouTubers, and we're all adults, at least I think we're all adults, that if somebody have a difference of opinion you don't like, either ignore it or you make a rebuttal video. But going out here lying and distorting our words or trying to get us taken down just because you don't want somebody outside the community to come at you, that's cowardly. Now, I'm going to say this again. When I talk in my videos about certain things or certain experiences or certain observations, I'm not talking about all. So if I say a white person, I'm not talking about all white people. If I say a black man, I'm not talking about all black men. If I say something about a gay person, I'm not talking about all gay people. If I say something about a black woman, I'm not talking about all black women or black children or white children. I'm not talking about all. That's wrong to talk in absolutes. It's arrogant and stupid to talk in absolutes. But we got to be honest with ourselves. There are a group of black men and black women out here who do this very same thing they white counterparts do. They want to turn around and play, I'm above this shit. It's sad. Yet you're attacking your own people because they have the nerve to challenge the system or the status quo. But yet, when they do get ahead, y'all want to come in and say, hey, you know, I was there supporting you and stuff. I mean, ask yourself, why aren't you going after these white men and white women or these other ethnicities that put videos of attacking our people, but yet you find it easy to come attack your own? But then again, like I said, like people have said over the years, we are our own worst enemy because we turn on each other. We don't have no loyalty with one another. Now, I've never, and I repeat, and I can go to my grave saying I've never taken advantage of another black man or black woman. And there are a lot of people out there who haven't. But we usually tend to be the ones who suffer the most because we have integrity.